Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. Oh my gosh, I took a week off YouTube. For the past few months, I've actually been posting 2 videos a week, and in all honesty, the past week has been so crazy. I just wanted to take a week break, and this is actually my first vlog as a 27-year-old. I cannot believe I'm 27. Like, where are the years flying by too? But anyway, on Sunday it was my birthday. Ross and I had the most magical weekend. He surprised me with a walk to these beautiful falls here in New Zealand called Kairikari. We went to Piha Beach. We also went out for lunch on my actual birthday. So he took me to a place called Oyster and Chop, where I've been wanting to go to for a very long time, and honestly I feel like I was just spoiled all weekend long. It was absolutely amazing. I had so many messages on Instagram from everyone in my Fit for Life community and Anjuli Fit Squad, which was so amazing. I felt absolutely special, and so I just wanted to kind of update you on where I'm at with life. In the week off, I actually got my hair cut, I got my nails done, I took care of myself, and it feels good to be back. So today's video is going to be 10 things to live by. These are a few things that I've been applying to my life over the years, and things I will continue to do so over the next few years as well. I hope that you learned something from this video. I hope that it helps you, and as always, if you do enjoy it, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and smile. As always, with any content I put out online, my goal is always to inspire you to become the best version of you. It's really not about comparing yourself to anyone else. I hope that videos like this kind of give you inspiration to reflect on where you are in your life right now and what needs to be done in order to get you to where you want to be, to being the best version of you. Whatever that looks like, whatever that feels like to you. It is all about you, because this is your life and it's your opportunity to make the most of it. So let's get started. Number 1, consistency. Consistency is so important in anything and everything. Consistency in the wrong direction will take you further away from your goals, and consistency in the right direction will of course take you closer to your goals, whether they're in business, relationship, or fitness. I'm sure you've probably heard me say it many times before, and everyone else online. Consistency is so important, especially when it comes to your fitness journey. You cannot expect to be, being on track for a couple of days and then falling off track for a couple of days and being on track, so on, going in this yo-yo pattern and expect to get close to your goals. We really do need to be consistent with our actions and our behaviors each and every day. So in terms of myself, consistency is probably one of the biggest things I struggle with, but I never give up. So I'm consistently working, and I have been consistently working since I was about 12 years old on my goals, whether it was in music with violin and piano, in fitness with the gym, or now, in growing my business and helping more women around the world. Consistency will get you the results that you want in time. Stay patient. Work ethic. This is something I really pride myself on. I believe that it's been ingrained in me from a young age, seeing my mum and dad work really hard to raise my brother and I in their full-time jobs. But also, I think that it's something I've learned, because nothing has really been just handed to me. And I guess that I'm kind of lucky in that aspect, and that I've had to work for everything that I get, and I have to work really hard for it. And I believe that the harder you work, the luckier you get. And that is just the mentality that I have. And it's true, because if you go through life thinking that everyone that does well in life is just lucky, you're never actually going to achieve your goals, because you believe that everyone else was blessed and you're just not to be where you are right now. And in order to get to where you want to be in anything it is, whether it's a relationship, a business, a life, travel, fitness journey, you have to be willing to put in work, and no one else can do that work for you. So if you're someone that feels like, you've got the bottom end of the stick, or whatever you call it, the shortest straw in the pot, I don't know the expressions, then you're never really going to be able to take things to the next level. You just have to realize that everyone has the same 24 hours in a day, and what you do with those 24 hours is up to you. Another thing I really want to talk about in terms of work ethic is a lot of people are so scared of hard work because they think, what if it doesn't work out? Well, who cares if it doesn't work out? It's not necessarily always about the end goal. It's about the journey and who you become in order to get closer to that goal. So I've had times when I've poured my heart into something, like stepping on the stage last year in WBFF New Zealand, or working really hard for an accounting exam and I actually failed the paper, and last year I didn't get top 3, I got 7th place. There's so many different times in my life in which I've worked really hard and it hasn't gone to plan, and you just have to accept that sometimes in life things aren't going to go to plan. But I would far rather work really hard for something and not achieve it than look back in a few years' time and think, what if? I think what ifs are just such a killer, and I would rather take a chance and work really hard when the time's going to pass anyway. And if I don't quite make it, well, you know what? At least I gave it my best shot and I have no kind of regrets on that. Knowledge is power. I am someone that is always open to learn, and I encourage you to also be open to learn. I believe that you can learn something from everyone, whether they are above you or below you in whatever work industry you're in, whether it's in the fitness industry, whether it's in a hobby of yours, whether it's pottery, music, you get the point. There are so many other people around the world that we can learn from, and if you're not lucky enough to be in an area in which there are a lot of people for you to connect with and learn from, there's so many social media platforms now for you to connect with like-minded people. There's also amazing podcasts and YouTube videos out there for you to learn from. So I have been loving listening to a lot of business and self-development type podcasts, and I also spend a lot of time reading in the year. This year I have read quite a few amazing books, and I'm happy to do another video on books that have changed my life, but for now I'm just going to leave you with this. Please do your best to focus on having a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset. A growth mindset is one in which you believe that you can always progress from where you are. Mentally, physically, you're always learning and you're continuing to grow. Another thing to note about knowledge is it is nothing without implementation. You have to take action. Once you learn something, you need to actually apply it to your life. So when I'm listening to podcasts or reading books, I'm making sure that I'm highlighting, I'm taking notes, and then I'm going to apply certain aspects to my life in order to improve moving forward, so I can be a better person and I can also be a better coach to help more women around the world. Progression. I feel like progression drives my motivation. When I start to see progress in the gym or in my body, it drives my fitness motivation. When I see progress with my business growing, helping more women around the world, it drives me to want to put out more content online and help more people. Progression is such a big key in life, and I believe that life would truly be boring without working towards some kind of progression. So for anyone that is looking to progress in the gym, you cannot expect to be doing the same things every day and expect a different result. If you are looking to, build up to 100 kilo squat, you're not going to go into the gym and do the same thing every day for a whole year and expect to get there. You're going to need a progressive training plan in which you are working to increase your weight, fortnight to fortnight or week to week, even if it's just by a pound or two, in order to actually achieve that goal of hitting the 100 kilo squat. These days, everyone is so used to instant gratification. If you order a parcel online, you want it the next day. If you order your food, you expect it to be delivered to you. Everyone is so used to getting everything delivered to them so easily that sometimes when progress doesn't happen initially, you're highly likely to give up before you even give it a chance. So really focus on celebrating the small wins. This is something I love doing. I make sure that I'm always celebrating along the way to my bigger goals. Just remember that small progress is still progress. Doesn't matter how small it is. Kindness. Oh my gosh, it is highly underrated. You know what? Kindness actually doesn't have to cost a thing. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It could be something like opening the door, giving up your seat for an older person. It could be making your partner's lunch, making the bed for them, doing these little things for people in your life, whether they're strangers or whether you love them and they're in your life every single day, goes such a long way. It might even be that you pay it forward and you buy someone a coffee that's behind you in line. It might be that you just smile at someone and say thank you to them for opening the door. There are so many different things that I think you can do each day to show some kindness to other people around you, and I feel like that truly brings you joy as well. It feels good to be kind. Accountability. I think this is really important in all areas of life, not just a fitness journey. If you have a goal and you find it very hard to hold yourself accountable to what you said you'd do, tell a loved one, tell your best friend, tell a family member, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, whoever it is. Make sure that you tell them what your goal is, write it down, and then go out and do the work in order to achieve it. I've said it many times before, confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself. If you are continuously writing down goals and never even achieving them, how can you feel confident, and how can you, increase your chances of achieving that goal by having an accountability buddy, whether it's your best friend or someone like me if it's a fitness goal. goal and you have an online coach to actually hold you accountable to what you said you'd do. Not everyone can hold themselves accountable, and that's fine. I'm personally like one of those people. I like to have an accountability buddy, so usually like I'll have a friend that I tell my goals to, or I'll tell Ross, whereas Ross is someone that can just say he's going to do something and he goes out and does it. So I really do like to have an accountability buddy. If I'm comp prepping, I'll usually have a coach to help me get through that, and I don't tell anyone online until like 4 weeks out or so. I just like to grind and quiet, but I do need at least 1 or 2 people out there to really just remind me of my goals and to keep me on my toes and to keep me working. And so if you know that you have set out goals many times before and now we're going into the new year and you're thinking like, oh, you know, I didn't achieve any of my New Year's resolutions this year, then something needs to change. You need to get that accountability in place so that you can, you know, transform in the new year, or to be honest, stop waiting for the new year and just start now. Authenticity. I think that this is something that is very underrated as well. Instead of trying to be a second-rate version of someone else, try and be your true self. So for me personally, I, you know, could have easily been persuaded to go down the track of a typical influencer online by copying what they were doing and, you know, following the trends in which they were all doing, but I decided not to. I just wanted to be my smiley, happy self. I literally thought about doing this YouTube and doing my makeup like all the other YouTubers do, but the feedback I got from all of you was, no, just do whatever you feel best. And so you know what, I turned up with a spot and all to do this video, no makeup, just myself, just in a sports bra in my little 1-bedroom apartment, to put out this video, because I truly do believe that being authentic is so important. And these days people can see through the fake. Like, I can tell when someone's trying to sell me something. I can tell when something doesn't feel quite right. I really trust my gut instinct, and Ross has a very good gut instinct too. So I learn a lot from him. When we meet people, we really just trust our gut on certain things. I think that it's very important to, you know, let your light shine into the world and be your best version of you. And there's going to be some people that vibe with that and some people that don't. And one of my favorite quotes that I heard when I was younger was, you can be the ripest and juiciest peach in the world, but not everyone likes peaches. Being vulnerable. I used to think that being vulnerable was a weakness. To cry or let anyone see me cry was a really bad thing. And it's taken me so long, like literally pretty much till this year, for me to be truly open. I mean, on social media, I've been pretty open about my journey of, you know, binge eating, post-competition, weight gain, weight loss, and all of that. Like on that side, I guess I have been really vulnerable. But until, you know, this year, I was so scared to admit to like friends or online that I went to therapy to talk to someone about a lot of different things. And I just used to think like, oh, therapy is something to be ashamed of and binge eating something to be ashamed of. But at the end of the day, like, we all struggle in any areas of our life, and reaching out for help is never something to be ashamed of. Being vulnerable and opening up is also nothing to be ashamed of. If anything, it's a necessity. And I just think that more people need to be aware that it's okay to not be okay from time to time. This year has been one of the hardest years for many different people all around the world. And I just want you to know that if you're not feeling 100%, like, you are not alone, please reach out and get some help. Honesty. This is something that I feel applies like with yourself and with other people. If you don't want to go to a Christmas event this year, say you don't want to go to it. If you don't want to do something that someone's telling you to do, say you don't want to do it. Too many people are, you know, just people pleasing and doing what, like, I used to do this, like, you're just doing whatever you think is right for other people. But sometimes you actually, and most times you actually need to put yourself first, your mental and your physical health first. So in terms of honesty, this also applies to yourself. It's being honest with yourself and being accountable again with yourself on what you said you do. So if you are telling yourself like, oh, I really want to lose 10 pounds, but then you're going and eating whatever you want every single day and in the weekends, you're not being honest with yourself. And you need to be able to really reflect on what you're doing and think, do I actually want to lose 10 pounds? And if so, then am I doing what I need to do in order to achieve that? I think that honesty is a really big one for yourself and in any relationships you're in, as well as just achieving your goals in general. Like, you have to be able to call yourself out on the BS. Lastly, step outside your comfort zone every once in a while. Honestly, I think that people have gotten so used to feeling comfortable that the second they feel slightly uncomfortable, they kind of ditch whatever they're doing and go back to what they were doing before. This is so common when it comes to something like, say, a fat loss journey. Someone's so used to doing what they do every single day, and then you give them a plan to follow. They start feeling a little bit hungry and they want to go back to what they were doing before because they're just so used to feeling comfortable, and the second they feel slightly uncomfortable, aka a little bit hungry, they want to just give up. And honestly, I believe that achieving results actually requires you to step outside of your comfort zone every once in a while. For me personally, I like to step outside of my comfort zone as much as I can because I think that challenges me to grow. So whether it's competing and stepping on stage, which was way outside of my comfort zone, or doing something like parasailing with Ross, going on an adventure, causing myself to meet new people in different situations, it really pushes me to grow as a person, as a coach, and as a fiance, I guess, just as an all-round person. So I highly recommend that each day you spend some time stepping outside of your comfort zone. It might mean that you're going to work a little bit harder so that you can ask your boss for a promotion, or it might mean that maybe you want to take things to the next level with your fitness journey and get an online coach. There's so many different ways for you to step outside of your comfort zone. It doesn't have to be anything extreme like bungee jumping or anything crazy, but I do recommend that you do try and do this more often. I hope that you learned something from today's video. As always, if you did enjoy it, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and smile.